Maturing is realizing white people really think black joy is just ghetto.
That's because white people aren't allowed to be joyful. And this isn't me being critical of white people, but the concept of whiteness is social control, right? It is rigidity. The concept of whiteness was sold as privilege, but the price of that privilege was freedom, was joy. They are only allowed to have privilege in a controlled sense. I want you to think about all of these concepts: political correctness, social manners, professionalism, dress codes. Like all of these things are inherently controlling. Like none of these things are freedom. None of these things are expressive. White people aren't allowed expression. And this is why black people are like white people's secret obsession and like the bane of their existence. You know what I mean? Because black people refuse to conform, and in that conformity, even though there's so much of a consequence behind refusing to conform, there's also so much joy, there's also so much freedom. And this is why there's so much of black culture that is mimicked, because it represents something that they could never be, which is why they wear our culture like a costume, because it is something that they can only temporarily enjoy. You cannot both remain part of the privileged class in society and rebel against it. Being a privileged member of a Christian colonial society means giving up the right to express yourself. It means accepting that you are a part of a greater system of control. Essentially, being white is a job, right? They are the buffer class between the elites and the oppressed, while simultaneously being a part of the oppressed class themselves. They're like the managers of a restaurant. They hate their job too. They don't make that much money too, but they make more than you. And so they're going to do everything they can to maintain that position, but they're watching you gossip with your coworkers. They're watching you steal food. They're watching you enjoy the aspects of the jobs that they can't, and they resent you for it. But they also enjoy watching you, right? It's the only fun part of the job, but they can't allow you to have too much fun. No? Or then the boss is going to hammer down on them. It's not really a privilege to be white. You know, everything that was great about European cultures and societies, pantheons, the worship, the witches, the magic, fairy tales, everything that was great about being white, about being European, was stolen from white people. I mean, colonization was just as brutal for white people. Well, I won't take it that far, but it was terrible, you know? And white people still haven't mourned the loss of everything that they lost.
I think white people are so triggered by black joy because they have zero control over it. And white people are all about control. And anything they don't get to control and manage and dictate freaks them the hell out.
They don't get to be the leader.
So I just came across a video of these black kids celebrating prom, and in the video they was having fun, they was singing songs, just getting hyped. And then when I went to the comments, it was nothing but them folks talking shit, right? They were saying it was loud, it was ghetto, it was this, it was that. This just points out how, like, for some reason, black joy makes them folks mad. Look at every black fatigue trend that has started, right? Carnival Cruise, it was a group of, seeing black people on boats having fun. Graduation, it was black kids, black boys throwing their caps up, dancing, being proud and just having fun. For some reason, this irks these people nerve, right? It remind me of that Boondocks meme. Nigga, did I catch you having fun? So at the end of the day, bro, do whatever you want to do, man. Have your fun. Do what you're going to do. Either way, they're going to find something negative and nitpick with it, bro. So
Black joy do not only make them mad, but they are literally not happy when black people are even standing. See, I can tell you guys that if you give these people an opportunity, these people would decide to say, okay, let's just unalive all of them, let's rest. If not, tell me why people will be celebrating, why black people will be celebrating, you'll be pained. Tell me why a lot of things we're trying to progress, trying to adjust, and you claim, them folks claim to have privilege. But at the end of the day, they will still be angry, they will still be bitter that a black person is succeeding. Why? Is that not an attitude of a witchcraft? Absolutely, that is what it is. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And guys, with that being said, let's dive right into other parts of this video. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch.
You know, I'll never forget the day a white buddy of mine said black people don't deserve equality because they could never get enough. And that's true. White people are actually scared of equality. That's just how racist we are as a people. And it's not just that one person. White culture in general. Probably I would say most white people, when they hear the word equality, they fear that white people will be oppressed because brown, black, and indigenous people might actually get what's fair and just. That's just how racist we are. And we're so obsessed with the idea of not having equality in America for black, brown, and indigenous people that we don't have health care, that we don't have economic equality. We don't have reasonable gun laws. Our liberties are being stripped because we have a fascist, racist, white supremacist regime in office because we are so scared of equality. We're so scared that black and brown folks might become the majority one day. That we had a black president, and now we've got to have a white supremacist president. That's how scared we are of equality. That's how racist we are as a people. Go to the fucking root. The root of America's problems. The root of the white man and the white woman, their problems, and America and the world. If you think about it, colonialization, white supremacy, the mentality of white people today, not just yesterday, today, right now, the denial racially, the silence, the apathy, the continuous gaslighting, all that fucking shit, that's ruined us. It's ruined white people, and it's ruining our nation. And whose fault is it? White people's fault. Their inability to fucking fix their goddamn problem. Until we fix white supremacy, everything we try will fail. It's dysfunctional and it's toxic, and Trump and this regime is the perfect proof of all that shit. How we got in this fucking mess? White people's bullshit. White people's racist fucking bullshit. Period.
So I'm waking up this morning and I open up my For You page, y'all, and the Keith Lee dance trend, y'all, it is bringing me all the black boy joy. I'm just so happy. First thing I open up, and I know we got a lot of issues going on, but baby, this right here.
On the way, we in the scat. And we ain't beefing about them niggas, we want the rent. How's your man, we gon' fuck him on his back. Gas tight, drive down, gas tight, drive down, he's a goner. Gas tight, drive down, he's a goner. Tight, drive down, he's a goner. Fake rich on the ground, we don't want him. A little bro to the gang store on him. Fake rich on the ground, we don't want him. A little bro to the gang store. Gas tight, drive down, he's a goner. Fake rich on the ground, we don't want him.
Bringing me all the joy, and it should be bringing you joy too. Happy Black History 365.
The problem that we have in white America is that most white people, when they hear about white racism, most white people say, man, that's not me. I never discriminated against anybody. Never did. In their sense of what discrimination means or what racism is, they may be right. But they sit residing in a system from which they take full benefit, a system that defines them in and defines black people out. We are going to have to face the fact that we are not a community. Community is where a lot of people develop mutually beneficial relationships with each other. And our racist institutions and the political boundaries of our cities define black people out of the community. White people sit in their suburban homes and watch a television programs and hear about all of these laws that are being passed. Many of them are beginning to wonder, what is it with those colored people on there? Why are they so upset? All this wonderful stuff that we're doing for them. But we aren't focusing on the black man living on the block. He lives in a two-flat on that block. And he knows what the circumstance on that block was 10 years ago. And he knows what it is today. And he, too, has heard about all of those programs and laws being passed. But the hard fact of the matter is that things are not changing for him. It's no wonder that the white population and the black population are pitted against each other when the black man knows that the change is not coming and the white man thinks that major efforts are being undertaken when they are not. So I don't think anybody should be surprised when one sees the black people in an open attack on the system, because I suspect that they don't see that there is any other realistic alternative.
I could turn the half into the whole thing. Eat the dick like low man. If I get
The demonization of black joy is rooted in white supremacy. Because why are you really upset at the fact that these kids who just spent the last 12 years in a school system designed to put them in prison are dancing? You're mad because they're dancing in a way that you think would not be appropriate to white viewers. You think because they're dancing like they're ghetto that they're bringing us back. Despite the fact that all of these kids defied the odds. And they have a far greater chance of becoming successful in life, bringing up the community. But what a lot of y'all fail to realize is that blackness, black joy specifically, is actually a tool of resistance that has been weaponized against white supremacy. And because of that, white supremacy had to weaponize black joy against us by saying it's not appropriate or civilized. Despite the fact that this is something that our ancestors would do continually, they are doing something that is ancestral, that is genetically encoded into their DNA. To celebrate however they want, to feel free in that moment, to express how they feel in any way they choose. They're not hurting anybody. They're not bashing anybody. They're simply existing and feeling free to express themselves in the way that they want. And we demonize it? Deconstruct and decolonize your mind.
So, I want to rant about something that irritated the hell out of me yesterday. So, yesterday we had the Black Joy Parade. So, I get off work and I, pop out at the parade. If you never heard of the Black Joy Parade, it's just that. It's literally just a parade celebrating black joy. Black vendors, black artists, black, chefs, everybody outside. It was a beautiful turnout. In fact, it was so beautiful. As cold as it's been in Oakland the last few weeks or so, it seemed like the sun popped out specifically for black joy yesterday. That's how nice it was. Here in Oakland, part of the culture is people having scraper bikes. If you don't know what a scraper bike is, look it up. But anyway, it's like 1 million people outside, so navigating through the crowd is kind of tough. You gotta navigate through all these people, and it's a lot going on. Everybody's playing music. The vendors have their own music. It's people outside promoting their music. The people on their bikes, they're playing music. It's live performances going on at the same time. It's just a lot going on. One of the boys on the scraper bike had speakers attached to the back of his bike. And he's slapping, like he's playing music, which I didn't recognize the song at all. I assume it was him promoting his own music pretty loud on his speakers. Whatever, that's a normal part of this culture, right? So I end up walking behind like 5 or 6 of the boys on their scraper bike as they navigate through the path of all these people. I'm like directly behind them, walking opposite of us, like on the path going the opposite direction. I noticed this interracial couple, and the only reason I noticed them because I heard the man say some stupid shit. And seems to be like a middle-aged couple, middle-aged white man and a woman who was clearly like African or whatever. They're together, and they end up passing the boys on the bike before they passed me. And like I said, the boys with the bike was playing his music loud, just as everybody else was. So the white man
As soon as they walking past me, the white man gonna turn to the lady he's with and tell her, the rap music is pretty undesirable, but I guess it's a nice turnout still. And I look up, I'm like, the fuck? Like, as soon as it came out of his mouth, I was like, the fuck? And he looks at me like, oh shit, somebody heard me say it, and like quickly turned his head, kept walking. But that irritated the fuck out of me, because I'm like, the rap music is undesirable. Do you know where the fuck you are? Matter of fact, why are you here? Why are both of y'all here? Because that had to be pretty normal between the two of them for him to feel comfortable enough to turn to her in this sea of blackness, complaining about some fucking rap music at the Black Joy Parade. Like, did you not think there was going to be rap at the Black Joy Parade? Like, I'm super confused at this point. Like, wouldn't your time be better spent at a Morgan Wallen concert or a Taylor Swift performance or a fucking Klan rally? Like, why are you here being negative? You bringing that negativity into this Black Joy occasion. Like, for what? And they be swearing up and down, we're the fucking problem. I really don't understand people's thought processes. Instead of you being at a place that is desirable to you, you're going to come to a Black Joy Parade and complain that they're playing rap music. Let that sink in. Like, is it drugs or mental retardation? I need some sort of explanation to make this make sense to me. What the fuck could have been going through your head in order for you to feel the need to say some stupid shit like that at this specific event? Like, the fuck?
They can't stand to see people getting their value from within. Like, you know how many white people have asked why are like, they've literally, I've seen it in the comments, I've seen it in videos of white people saying, black people, like, how do you get your joy? Like, how are you so happy? Like, why? Like we know that we've oppressed you for all this time. How do you still stand up and smile and dance? Like, they want us, and that's not to say that they want us to, well, some of them certainly want us to, like, not be happy. But even the ones who do not actively try to make sure we're not happy, they feel like we should be unhappy. And so they ask, why are you so happy? And that's because they themselves have been trained and brought up to think that their happiness comes from external validation. Y'all, that is what it is. Because white culture, white American culture is very consumerist. It is very, you get your value from having the biggest house. You get your value from having the hottest husband and the prettiest woman. You get your value from having the most, the highest paying job. You get your value from having the highest net worth. That is literally how a lot of white Americans define their value, is if I have this external indicator that everyone else can see that says I am worthy. The higher that number on the stock ticker for them, that is the higher their value. And and when that is where your value comes from, you will always look at people who are poor or people who have no money and be like, why are you smiling? And it's just like, because my value does not come from some artificial number on a board that someone else made up. Like, what? That is crazy. But another thing is when you have the mentality of my value comes from things outside of me, you have the mentality that everyone else has that same mentality. And so so then it becomes a whole lot of projection. It becomes a whole lot of projection of, like, I would be insecure if I were in your place, so why aren't you insecure? Like, it's just like, so the projection starts, and it's like, and that makes them mad as well, because they just expect you to think like them, and it's like, absolutely not. Hustle culture is one of the external validation traps. It sure is. And that goes into, y'all don't let me get on my history box. Because the Black Panthers, y'all, they were very anti-capitalism, very communist, pro everyone working.
When we say to center Black joy, let me speak for myself. When I say to center Black joy, I say it for numerous reasons. Most importantly is to remind people that we are joy, that our joy should not be dismissed or disregarded or ignored for any reason. That's my main reason. Another reason, and this is not to dismiss, disregard, or deny the trauma that Black people have gone through and continue to go through, but when people focus on that trauma, especially white people, when they focus on that trauma and they don't have an action plan for how to heal that trauma, they find themselves stuck in, oh my God, I feel so bad for Black people. It must be so hard for you. You've been through so much. I can't imagine how bad that would be. Those are I statements. I can't believe how hard it is. I can't believe how much you've been through. I can't believe how much you go through. You can't, and you won't, and you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to as part of your work. You shouldn't have to as part of your decolonizing work. Taking on the trauma that we went through isn't the goal. It's to remove the trauma. So that's a big reason. Becomes very focused on your feelings and how you feel in response to our trauma. Another reason to center Black joy, especially if you're doing anti-racism and decolonizing work, is that some people will find themselves, if they don't have a trauma project to try and save, they are less interested. If they don't have something they think they can fix, they are less interested. If they don't have something that they feel that they can feel sorry for and then feel proud about for helping, then they lose interest. Anti-racism work and decolonizing work isn't about the discovery of Black joy. Black joy exists at all times. Black joy even exists in the midst of oppression. So if you're somebody that is working to be an anti-racist, an active anti-racist, if you're somebody that believes that you're an advocate, then you should want that joy to be celebrated that much more and not underneath the thumb of oppression, and that should be your focus. Black people don't need fixing. It's the systems that continuously and systemically oppress us that need fixing. Just some thoughts.
Here's a fun little PSA to non-Black folk. If the word Black makes you feel anything other than neutrality, if someone describing themselves as Black, explaining Black culture, saying they like to go and be around other Black people, if that makes you feel away, it's because you're either openly a racist or you have some deep-seated racial issues and tensions that you haven't addressed, and so you'd rather not even acknowledge them because of how uncomfortable it makes you. And just to be clear, this specific instance was regarding a white person, but this goes for any non-Black person, because the only truly egalitarian thing that white Europeans have ever done in the globe is allow anyone who wants to sign up for white supremacy. I was in an environment where I was with a group where someone from Argentina could talk about all Argentinian things, not a trigger, right? Oh, I like this bar because it's an Argentinian bar. Oh my God, I like this restaurant because there's so many Argentinians there. Cool. Someone from Britain could be like, oh, I like this place because it's a British bar. Oh my God, I like going here because of British people. Cool. And then a white American who self-identified as a WASP. Now, what's that W for, folks? Follow me here. What's that W for? Told me, she, that I bring up race more than anyone they've ever encountered. And I said, no, I think about race just as much as every other Black person. They just don't mention it because they want to appease you. Because if I'm listening to a British person, white, talk about going to British bars, and if I'm listening to Argentinian, white, talk about Argentinian things, and I'm listening to you, a white American, talking about things that are American that are not even remotely close to my culture, why can't I say, yeah, I don't go to that area of DC, I don't go to those bars because they're for here. No one like me goes there. I don't want to be a token. These are the bars that I tend to go to as a Black person in DC, and that made you uncomfortable. Me bringing up not Black trauma, not Black history, which may be okay, you should feel uncomfortable. Your ancestors probably did some chinky stuff. If me bringing up Black joy and Black leisure make you even have to call out, ooh, you bring up Black being a lot, it's because you actually enjoy living at the top of the totem pole, and the thought that perhaps there are people not having your experience, ooh, that's earth-shattering for you because you don't actually want that. And it's kind of why I don't really F with white liberals. At least with white conservatives, I know what I'm getting. Not that I rock with them, but I know what I'm getting. But white liberals, that's what makes y'all insufferable.
We have done so much. Anyways, sorry. Welcome back. Welcome back. And hope you guys enjoy all of that clip that I was able to roll out for you guys. You see, we as Black people have done so much for them folks, for them to leave us alone. For white people to stay on their lane. For them to be able to be like, these people should just do their thing. We don't need to talk. We don't need to meddle. We don't need to add. We don't need to minus. We have done so much for white folks to be able to respect us as Black people. Apart from doing so much, Black people, Black Americans to be precise, have gone through a lot. A lot. For every single race to be able to respect, honor, and adore them. But they will not. Reasons because they are jealous. In fact, a lot of them have admitted it in countless videos that this is why we literally cannot just accept and move on. We are jealous. A lot of them have said it. We are literally jealous. And you know, sometimes why I keep asking myself about the jealousy is the fact that you don't feed me, I don't feed you, right? You don't clothe me, I don't clothe you. You don't pay my rent or pay my bills, I don't pay your rent or pay your bills. Why do I need to be jealous? But they have to, because they want to be in control. They always want to be ahead. They always want to be the one that we're going to cheer for. They always want to be that particular center of attraction. So because they are literally not getting what they want, because they are not, it's not happening the way they planned it, because it is not going exact the direction the way it's going, it's now becoming a problem. See, I can tell you that if only black people are not successful, if only black people are not millionaires or billionaires out there, if only black people do not stood up to them whenever they say, what are you doing in this environment? If only black people have to stay calm and act as if they were still in a time of slavery, white people wouldn't have any issue. So most of this issue is coming up as a result of black people are now coming to compete. Black people are now coming to now act. Black people are now coming to now become billionaires. And you know one thing white people hate is to see a black man up there. Not an ordinary black man. It will not be a black American man. How can a white man sit down and imagine? I'm not saying every single white folks. Some white folks. I've seen a video where a white woman was literally asking this black guy that, why are you driving this type of car? Is it not too expensive for your age? How old are you? Do you need to be driving such an expensive car? I've seen. And then I asked myself, why do my car driving or whatsoever needs to bother you? Why do I need to be your problem? Why? But I've come to that conclusion that anything they don't get to control, they have issues. Yeah, anything some white folks don't get to control. If they don't get to be up there, if they don't get to be ahead of you, if they don't get to just do something more than you as a black person, they are not comfortable. That is why you see black kids celebrate, they are angry. Black doctors are here, they are angry. They will open their dirty mouth to say, oh, I can't trust myself with these black doctors. I saw a video, that was what a white man said. Why, if you check at the end of the day, every single thing that have literally dragged us backward to where we are today is as a result of these people. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. Guys, thank you so much for saying stick and hook me to the end of this video. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.